Hello, welcome. My name is Kendal Makamate, and I've been meaning to do this for the longest time. This is the beginning of a series of conversations that I plan to have with you as well as with other people. And my plan is to call this Unsolicited Advice with Kendal, the stories that you never knew you needed to hear, but you're going to hear anyway. I'm in my grandmother's place, Mumidolenz, Zone 1, Soweto. This is where, Hartsamaka December, when we go on holidays in December and people say, oh yeah, Utwa. I said, yeah, Gachai. This is where I'd be coming home to. Middleland Zone 1, Soweto in Johannesburg is where my dad grew up. It's where his siblings grew up. It's a home that my grandma and granddad developed over time, since 1955, when they were forcibly removed from, yes, you guessed it, Sophia Town. So Sophia Town was a place like down in Cape Town, and there were forced removals in the Boerkap. Was it the Boerkap? Yes. This is exactly the history that's happening in this side of the world. Sophia Town is now called Triumph. It's right next door to Westdene, just here. And Triumph is a word that's used by people that speak Afrikaans, which is also another conversation I want to have with you about how it is that we get a language that was created by people that aren't from here and developed by people that aren't from here, taking center stage, calling itself Afrikaans in Afrikaans. That's a story for another day. What I do want to talk about is I want to talk about how, the danger of a single story is actually even evident in this particular place. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie had a lecture a couple of years ago, which I absolutely love. It actually was my introduction to her, how the way she told the story of how it's important to not fall into the danger of a single story, how it's important to remember that no one story is just linear. There are multiple dimensions to any story, like the story of Sophia Town, like the story of Middlelands. Tata Hugh Masekela, who his peers call Bra Hugh, he wrote a song, a really famous song. And I think the refrain for that song was something like, Gaan julle weg, ons pola hier. And it was really about a refrain that a lot of people who were being told by the then government to move from Sophia Town because they wanted to raise that place and make it a white settlement, a white area. They were like, no, we don't want to go. While there were a lot of people that did not want to be moved to Middlelands, there were also a lot of people, like my grandparents, who were very happy to sign up and say they also want to go. They actually want to get out of there. They want their own place. Because what they'd been doing, they'd been renting a space on somebody else's land. They were renting a room or 2 rooms, but a space in somebody's backyard. And here they were being offered an opportunity by the then apartheid government to move from this area so it could be used as a white area, but then be moved to Middlelands. They signed up, and they were one of the first to sign up. And when the day came, the allotted day came for people to be put on a truck with all of their belongings, where they'd sit on top of their belongings on this truck with 2 or 3 other families, they were one of those. So this is in 1955. The first families to be moved were moved to Zone 3. Why Zone 3? We will find out. Trust me, I'm intending to connect with lots of different people that actually know what the history is, people that are in the 70s, 80s, maybe even 90s, who can tell us this story. And when my grandparents moved, they were moved here to Zone 1, and they had this place. Had 2 bedrooms, a lounge and a kitchen, and a bathroom, and a little passage. And that's what they moved into. And that's what has been home for a long time. There have been extensions and additions made to the yard over time, like many other houses in the area. But that's a little bit about the history of Middlelands. I intend to chat to a lot of people to find out what it is that the experiences were. And the thing that really inspired this for me was the fact that when my grandma passed away, I realized I miss her. I miss her a lot. I realized, though, that with her goes the uniqueness of her story, her life, her experiences, how she saw things. Because it really surprised me when she said that they didn't want to go. that they wanted to go, rather, that there were a whole lot of people that didn't want to go, and that was the popular refrain, that people didn't want to be moved from Sophiatown, yet there were a lot of other people that were happy to be moved. And that for me opened up an entire world, an entire universe of possibilities. What else was different? How many of you have got people in your family that are nearing the end of their journey? They're in their 80s, they're in their 90s, they've lived their lives. How many of you have been able to actually find out from them what their opinions were on that war that was called World War II? Were they part of it? Did they experience it in any way that's different to what you find in the history books? I'm hoping that through this series of conversations, I will spark in you an interest in your history, that you will actually get to start getting to grips with what's important for you, what's around you, where do you come from? Where do your people come from? Who are they? Sereto sa lona ke eng? Le tswa kae? Le fitlhile mo Gauteng? Or kgale ntse le le mo Gauteng? Stick with me. Let's take this journey. Let's go down this rabbit hole. It will be fun. You'll find out that Kgalema Motlanthe is from Middlelands as well. You'll find out that Trevor Huddleston, that famous Trevor Huddleston and this church, a lot of people were associated with that church that was in Sophiatown. That there were Chinese and Indians and Africans and lots of different people that lived in Sophiatown. That there was music, there was jazz, there was a culture. There was a different way of doing things. You know, that the Jewish people were heavily involved in the way things happened and worked in Sophiatown back in the day. Stick around. You'll like this. See you soon.